You are listening to the VCast.
What's up, everybody? How are you? How are you doing today? I hope you're doing well. I'm all right. It's the VCast. We're back with another episode. Cranking them in, baby. We got beer, we got shrooms, we got weed, and I'm all by myself. This is what kind of a degenerate I am. Haha, sober October. That's the first sip of beer for the day. How is everybody doing? I hope that my wonderful angelic voice finds you in a wonderful position, hopefully with your legs over your head if you're lucky. Or maybe not. If your legs are over your head and it's not a lucky position, then what can we do? But we're here. We're here again, another episode. I think this is 60-something or another. Good times. It's been a real busy week. I've been so busy lately and not doing everything I should be doing either. I need to be editing more of these podcasts, getting them up. I think I'm like 5 episodes behind on YouTube. But it is what it is. We're here just for the beer. That's why I come to the Dojo of Comedy. They pay me in beer and drugs. I'm just kidding. That's not the arrangement. I wish it was, though, but you know, some people here have morals. I do have a pretty tepid Modelo here. I have to say, I'm going to put a complaint into the manager that this is not the high quality I'm used to. I'm used to very cold beers here at Tiff's in Morris Plains, home of the Dojo of Comedy. Bang! The host of the most for these podcasts up here in the Dojo Podcast Studios, home to the VCast, home to Diablo Radio, home to Free Thinkers, home to No Carnival Podcast, No Carnival Parking. I don't know what I'm doing here. We're just going. We're here. I'm just fired up. Got a show tonight with Dan Lamorte. Dan Lamorte, the famous runner who lost a lot of weight. He also comes from the fame of his grandmother put him on rankings. They have rankings for all her grandkids, and he continues to drop in the rankings. I don't think since I've been following him, I've ever seen him get into the top 5. He is consistently at the bottom. I don't know why. He is a very nice guy. He's also going to be here with his girlfriend, Natalie Cuomo. Doubles. They're doing a doubles show. I don't know if any other comics are on the show. I know I'm hosting, so it might just be the 3 of us. And if it's just the 3 of us, it's going to be pretty fun because I'll get to do a little bit of time, baby. Busy with comedy lately. A lot of stuff going on. A lot of opportunity. That is the theme for this show. The opportunistic opportunities of life. And they are presenting themselves, and I'm not running away from them. I'm trying to get at to them head on. I produced one of my first shows I've produced in a while over at the Dublin Yard in Secaucus, New Jersey. And while the turnout crowd-wise wasn't what I was hoping for, it was a really good time. We had, I would say, maybe about like 10 audience members. It's a small room, so like 25 and you're packing it out. So 10, so the room was, it was pretty decent, but the lineup, we killed. We had a great time. The people, the audience loved it. They had a great time, a lot of laughing. I hosted. I had Irv Hernandez from Jersey City, Eleazar Guzman, who's on the come up, and Brian Vallone stopped by, and had Gerald Bedford headline. Gerald is one of the funniest people I know, one of the funniest people that I honestly call like my peers. There's the comics that are out of my sphere sphere of influence, but Gerald is like right there on the edge of it. And why he's not a bigger comic, I don't know. I don't know the formula. I'm still trying to figure that shit out for myself. But why he's not a bigger comic, I don't know. But it makes me sometimes feel like, shit, what do I got to do? Like, if that guy isn't on fucking cereal boxes by now, what am I doing? Me and my little fucking 10 minutes. And that guy just does... I don't know if it's material. I know it's crowd work. He goes in there and just starts talking to everybody, and he weaves his way through the crowd, and he comes up with these fantastic storylines where he just invents, like based on what you do for a living and who you are as a person, he invents these, this whole production, and everybody enjoys it, and he has constant callbacks, and it's a lot of fun. But producing shows, it's tough. I don't like the feelings I get, like the nervousness. I am already nervous enough to perform. Like, that's a nervousness in its own. But then the nervousness of the production aspect, it's a lot. And sometimes you can lose, you lose your way as far as your own material and like your performance. So it was tough, but the owner, or the GM rather, he loved it. He wants us to come back, or wants me to come back, produce another show. He also has another bar that he wants to produce a show at. So I'm super excited about that. But I'm also really nervous. Again, opportunity. The opportunities are here, and what am I going to do? Am I going to step up? Am I going to fold up? We don't know. We're going to have to find out. You're going to have to tune in to more episodes of the VCast to see how I do. Another sip of beer for the working man. I'm going to roll up a little blunt while I talk to you guys because I'm pressed for time. Seating is going to start in 45 minutos. 45 minutos. This show's going to be underway. Got to get people through the door. And into their seats so that they can have a good time tonight. And the guys are down there now shuffling the chairs around, getting the room ready. If you've never been to the dojo, you're missing out. You're missing out on a good damn time. This is definitely my favorite place to perform at because it's like home. I feel so comfortable here. And I need to do more spots in other places too. So I'll tell you later about the shows I have lined up, but things are rocking. Things are rocking and rolling, and it makes me want to do more. Like, I need to do more stuff, and talk about more shit, and come up with new bits, on things. Oh, yeah, that's right. I got that new Kirstie Alley bit because Kirstie Alley died. Every time somebody dies, it gives you a new avenue for material, new things to talk about in your life. And I think people do it like in real life too. Like, all the funny people I know that aren't comics, they always talk about like current events and have like their own funny perspective on it. And I don't watch the news and shit, but you get updates on things and then you're like, well, what's going on here? What's funny about that? I don't actively think like that, but I just want to make fun of stuff because things are just too serious. Things are too serious out there. And doing these alone, I just get to rattle stuff off that's on my brain, get my muscles, my podcast muscles flexing. But we're getting guests again. I got a buddy of mine, Dave Namery. I think he's coming next week. We'll see if that holds up. If not, we'll just have whoever I can grab. It's open mic night. I'll grab a fucking random person, bring him up here, and start talking to him, finding out shit. Because normally I don't like talking. I'm not a big talker. I'm not. Like, you can get me into a conversation and I'll talk with you, but I'm never the one that's looking for conversation. I'm actually the opposite. But should I be talking like this much into it? I see this thing spiking. I noticed in the last episode my fucking voice was kind of low. So I hope I don't have to like sit here like this with my bent neck. I hope it picks me up from a little bit of a distance. Otherwise, I'm beat. So what else has been going on in the life today? Oh man, how about that Liver King fiasco, the Liver King saga? Everybody's been talking about that. Mr. Liver King, for those of you that don't know, there's a Instagram personality. He goes by the name of the Liver King. Why does he go by this moniker, you ask? Because he eats liver. His shtick, his whole thing is a lifestyle based on ancestral tenets. So I don't know the definition of the word tenets, but let's just say it's like rules and like guidelines that he goes by. And these rules and guidelines say that you should live the way that your primal ancestors lived, the hunter-gatherers. And I think Graham Hancock may have a thing or two to say about that, but the Liver King believes that if you eat an animal and you use an animal from, I guess, nose to tail, they call it, where you eat everything, you eat the guts, and, obviously the liver is his big thing. And, he's got a whole shtick about it. He developed like a big following online about it. And he's jacked out of his mind. Like he's just a fucking swollen, just a swollen little man. He's I don't know if he's little, but he's short, but he's huge. He's fucking so jacked. And I guess they had some like leaked emails. Now he's been on podcasts before telling people that he's natural. This is where the controversy comes in, right? Because people just assumed he was on steroids and stuff. I followed him for a little while online. When I first came across his page, I was like so into it. I was like, oh man, the Liver King, this guy's fucking cool as hell. He's doing these crazy workouts. He's eating raw liver, telling you that if you eat liver, your liver's going to be better. If you eat testicles, you'll have more testosterone. Like if you eat bull testicles, you'll develop more. Like he had this whole thing. And I'm pretty sure he's like college. I don't know if he's got a master's or something, but he's not a dummy. This is what's confusing about him is he's not dumb. He's crazy looking. He's got a crazy beard, long hair. He says he doesn't wear deodorant or he doesn't brush his teeth. He says you don't have to. That all the stuff that's fucked up in our body comes from the bullshit that we eat and the processed foods. And he might have a point to that. He might have a point. Our sicknesses and our illnesses that we get might come from the processed food that we eat. Now, there's a give and a take with that, because do we give up eating all this fucking food that allows us to have this many people on this fucking planet or on this, in this country? We got 350 million, 375 million people in this country. Does eating, like that, fast food and all that stuff, like that's like a major part of life. Like I don't see, I guess maybe because I'm, city growing up, like I'm a city boy, even though I grew up in suburbs of New Jersey. But am I a city boy because I can't picture another way to live? Like, there's no way that we can go back to like farming and shit. How are we going to feed all these people? You can't turn the crops over and stuff that fast. You can't raise animals that fast. We'd be eating fucking calves all the time. And veal, we're going to be eating the veal. You ever eat veal? Fucking, it's barbaric. But, yeah, so, he did this because his kids and stuff had, I guess, like autoimmune diseases, and they were sick and stuff. So they did like an elimination diet, and, it helped them and it helped his family. And I don't doubt that for a sec. So many people have been having, autoimmune disorders and gut problems and all kind of, health issues, and they do like an elimination diet and they feel better. So I don't doubt that that's truth in his life. And then he took it a little farther. Now apparently he already had money. He lives in a pretty dope ass house, and he pays for production and stuff like that. So he blew up, and he's going on podcasts telling people he's natural when people question him. Are you jacked up? Are you natural? And he lied. He would lie to people and tell them that he was natural. And then, what blew it up. I mean, everybody with the sniff test was like, "You're not natural." I knew he wasn't natural, but he would say that. And then for me, like, I try not to be like a dickhead where if somebody says something, I try to take their word for it unless I know for sure it's not true, and I had my doubts, but I wouldn't call him out on it. Apparently, like, his emails got leaked and he was emailing back and forth with a doctor about, what his goals are, what he's currently taking and stuff like that. So the jig is up. And I can relate to lying about steroid use because I've lied about steroid use. Like from 08 from 08 to 012. I was going to say 012, but from 2008 to 2012, I was taking cycles. I was cycling it up. I was stacking it up. Now, I'm not talking about just regular hormone replacement therapy or testosterone replacement therapy, TRT, any of that. I was on all the steroids. And for me, what happened was, and the more I've been hearing people talk about this, the more I've like really starting to understand my situation. And a lot of people do steroids, and a lot of bodybuilders are, get jacked like that because of body dysmorphia and the way that they feel about their bodies. And I don't know if you call it body dysmorphia, but I was in a relationship with a girl, and she had like an ex who was a fucking jack dude, and I've never been a bodybuilder. I've never been a weight room guy. I was never a gym rat. But I was in this relationship with this girl. I thought that she was gonna be the one and all that good shit, and I had so many insecurities about her ex. Now this, I have jokes about this, but we talked a lot about our previous sexual history. We talked a lot about our previous relationships and stuff. And for me, I thought it was like being intimate, getting to know her a lot more. But what it really did was just boil insecurities inside of me. Like I was super insecure about my position, right? Because I just was like, I feel, I was a fucking jailbird. Now I'm in a relationship with a recovering heroin addict, and I had my own shortcomings that I'm like, whatever. But she came from a good family and stuff like that. And I got insecure, and we broke up, and I knew she started seeing him after we broke up, and we kind of were like talking. I was trying to get back together with her, but I had caught them together. She like lied to me about wanting to hang out, and I fucking stalked her and showed up to her house, and I was like down the block in my car waiting, and then I saw them pull up. Then I chased them for a little while in the car. I was a fucking psychopath. But that made me really insecure, so that when that was finally over, I got one of my friends was jacked, and he was juiced up, and I don't remember. I probably just asked him. That's that's how I start asking questions and stuff. People realize you're curious about it. Next thing you know, hey, you want some of this sauce? And I started taking testosterone, and I was working as a pipe fitter for a fire sprinkler company. So fire sprinklers, these kind of pipes and stuff. I was working at a pipe fitters, and I started taking testosterone, but I wasn't really working out. But I had a tough job, like strenuous, holding pipes over your head and stuff. And the testosterone mixed with that like work, and I was doing push-ups and shit. I got a little bit swole up, and seeing the immediate effects made me I was like so motivated. I was like, oh, this is fucking awesome. If I just did a little bit, and I already got like a little bit swole up. Now I'm just a naturally big guy. I have naturally big shoulders, big hands. I'm 6'3". I was weighing probably around 215, 220 at that point already, just natural. And so it wasn't it wasn't. I really wish I would have went back and tried to do it natural, and tried to like just be a gym rat. Like if I could go back and do things differently, I would have wished like as an 18-year-old or a 17-year-old that I got involved in the gym early and just started lifting and never stopped, because I'm curious as to what my natural genetics would have brought me to, because the steroids took to me like fucking butter on toast. Like it was just made to be. And I got pretty swole up, and then I started taking different things, and I became a chemist. I started going to school for chemistry, and by school for chemistry, I just started reading online forums, bodybuilding forums, reading about stacks, and that's like combinations of steroids. They call them stacks. And you know, different cycles you can take and what they do to you. And I just got really into it. And for those 4 years, I was taking testosterone. I was taking Deca. I was taking Trembolin, which Trembolin is like one of the fucking most poisonous steroids you can take, but it makes you look like a beast. Like just like I don't know. I would assume that the Liver King's on Trembolin, but who knows? But I was built up. I was taking Winstrol. I was, giving myself multiple injections a week. And I say this because the whole point of what I was trying to say was that when people asked me, I would lie. I would lie to family members. I would lie to friends, not my close friends. My close friends knew because all of a sudden I was just fucking swole the fuck up. But I would lie to people, and it wasn't because I was getting in trouble. It wasn't because I was a competing athlete for anything. I lied because I was ashamed. I was ashamed that it felt like when somebody says, "Oh, you're on steroids," they kind of, I'm trying to think of the word, like they kind of, like almost like you didn't do anything for it. Like if I just took steroids and got that way. Like I didn't. I was working very hard for it. I was going to the gym every single day. I was at the gym for like 2 hours every single day, nonstop, 7 days a week. Working real hard. I was working real hard on my diet. I was like Tupperware, like chicken and rice and broccoli in a fucking Tupperware 6 times a day. Like, I was putting in a lot of work. I was making a lot of sacrifices, and I felt like you just saying I'm on steroids is like, almost like I don't know. I was ashamed of it. So I lied to people. So if you're watching this and I lied to you about taking steroids, I'm not sorry. All right. Because it's none of your business anyway. But, I lied to, family and things like that. And I remember I was in Puerto Rico with my uncle, and my uncle, he's my uncle. He's my godfather. And, he was like so, proud of me. I mean, I don't know if he was proud of me, but you got a nephew that you're hanging out with, and I'm in my late 20s. I'm 6'3". I'm like 245, maybe like 12% body fat. I looked like a fucking stud. And, you're hanging out with me. And I remember we were in Puerto Rico for my grandmother's funeral. I believe it was my grandmother's funeral, and I was jacked out of my mind, and the kind of jacked where everybody looks at you, like more, like, you know what I mean? Like everybody's just like, ugh, for those people that like pro wrestling, one of the things Vince McMahon looks for in wrestlers was the airport test. Like if you're in an airport, does everybody stop and stare at you? Like that's the kind of wrestlers that Vince McMahon liked. He would have liked me because everybody stopped and stared at me. I was 6'3", whatever. I fucking gave you my stats. And I was just jacked. And I remember we were on the street, and my uncle bumped into a friend of his. We were walking, and it was like me, my uncle, and like 2 of my cousins, and we bumped into this guy. And the guy just wouldn't stop looking at me. And he's like, "Oh, man, you're so big." And then he fucking was like, "What are you taking?" I was like, "Taking?" Like he fucking caught me off guard. I'm like, people know about steroids in Puerto Rico, like in this village. People know about science in this village, and he said, "What are you taking?" I was like, "Oh, nothing. I ain't taking nothing." He was like, "Come on, what are you taking?" He knew. That guy fucking knew. He worked in a gym. He owned the gym. He knew, and I felt like fucking so small. And my uncle's like, no, his dad was big. His dad was big too. And then he was like, oh, okay. When he saw like my uncle defend it, but he still didn't fucking believe me either. But I'll never forget that. I was like, fuck, man. That was like, I felt bad. I did feel bad because my uncle's defending me and I'm lying, But it's a deceitful thing, especially with the stigma that steroids have, and rightfully so, because steroids can fuck you up. They fucked me up. I got nice fucking bitch tits now because of them, because I didn't do them properly. The problem with steroids is, number one, you have to get like pharmaceutical grade steroids. You have to get good steroids that aren't made in a lab, that doesn't have quality control, and it's not dirty and stuff like that. Number two, it's just very expensive to keep up with it. And number three, you have to like do them properly. Like if you're not getting your hormones and stuff tested and, cycling off and on properly, you can really do some damage to your own hormones. So that's what I did. I was fucked up for years from that. After I quit because, I wanted to have a kid, and, me and my ex my wife at the time, she knew. She thought I was natural too in the beginning, and I told her, like, the first time, I forgot what it came up about. She was clowning somebody else that she thought was on steroids, and I was like, well, I'm on steroids, and she was like, you are? And she was like, I didn't know that, and I was like, yeah. Like, I never lied to her. I like immediately told. As soon as I saw like that she thought that I was natural, I was like, oh, hold up. Don't clown that dude. I'm doing the same thing. Don't make fun of that guy. I'm fucking, So, and she, was accepting of it or whatever. But what the fuck was I talking about? Now I'm fucking heartbroken. Yeah, so it's just it has a lot of stigma. The steroids. It didn't make my dick small. It didn't make my balls small. It did give me a little bit of the limpies. I was a little bit of the limpies for a while. My fucking shit was it was weird. Like, I'd get hard, but I couldn't stay hard. Like, I wasn't David Goggins. I was not staying hard at all. I would get hard and then start having sex, and all of a sudden it'd be like, all right, I'm done. Not even coming. And I'm just like, whatever. So that was a problem. So I had to take, plus my sperm count was low. So I had to do all that stuff before we had my lovely little daughter. And yeah, so I mean, it's wild because it's probably used so much, like in Hollywood and everywhere, right? The fucking Rock, definitely juiced up. The Rock's definitely juiced up. That was my fucking hero. That's who I tried to look like. You know who I was trying to look like at one point? I think like by 2011, 2012 time, I was trying to look like The Rock in Fast and the Furious 5. When he had that goatee with the long, like I have pictures where I have the goatee and I grew my goatee long like Hobbs, because that's what I look like. I was tan. I rocked the hell out of a tank top. And what's funny is like that shit's like like it feels like armor. Like it feels like putting the Iron Man suit on. That's what steroids makes you feel like. Like you're walking around, you're like, and you're just like jacked up. And then you take the suit of armor off, and sometimes I still fucking walk like I'm jacked like that, and I'm not. I'm just not like that anymore. So we'll see. Maybe when I get my shoulder fixed, I'm definitely going back on TRT. Well, I'm saying going back like I've ever been on it, but I definitely want to work with a doctor. I'm 40 years old. I definitely want to work with a doctor on my testosterone, boosting my testosterone levels, especially to try to heal some of these injuries. But I don't want to go back. Excuse me. I don't want to go back on steroids like that, like I was doing before. Oh my God, excuse me. That was too much. I don't want to do all that. I just want to take a little bit of testosterone, get the fucking blood pumping again, be youthful. I want to be youthful, and I want to, do some anti-aging. But it's unfortunate that the Liver King is upset now. But you know what? You got to deal with it with all that fucking money you got. You'll be all right. Oh, so that's my confession. Okay, that's my confession to everybody. Yes, I was like the Liver King. But now I'm not like the Liver King. I don't know where I was going with that. I was going to make a little monologue. I'm looking directly at the camera like I was going to make a confession. Okay, I'm going to make a confession, all right? You ready? Here's my confession, guys. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry to everybody that I lied to about my previous steroid use. It was and is still none of your business, but I did it, okay? And I looked wonderful. I looked wonderful, phenomenal even, like a damn statue. And I wish I could look like that again, but I'm broke. I can't afford all those damn steroids. You know how much some fucking steroids cost me a month? Who knows how much money I would have had saved up in the bank. But that's what I like to do. I like to, spend money on shit. It is what it is. What else is going on? Oh my God, the trade deadline has come and gone, and we have traded Brittany Griner. We received Brittany Griner in a trade for a fucking warlord, and everybody's upset about it. But it is what it is, If you WNBA player got traded, I don't know. I'm not good with fucking current events. I could give two shits about these fucking people. Why do people care? Is it because it's on the news? Like, why does everything that's on the news garner everybody's opinion and they start like talking about it for so long? What is that phenomenon that, like, have they learned to manipulate people so much where they can just put these stories up and it's like so irrelevant, but it gets everybody involved? I wish I learned how to do that. I want to make my comedy shows go viral like these absolutely ridiculous stories that have no bearing on my life, right? Brittany Griner's incarceration in Russia means absolutely nothing to me. Nothing. But why am I talking about it? Why is it in everybody's fucking mouth? Who knows, right? Is this the CIA's Operation Mockingbird in effect? I don't know. But whatever they do, they get these stories going and it gets everybody talking about it, and then people aren't talking about whatever else is going on that could probably be more important. How about like Project Veritas exposing stories about, these fucking groomers in our school, Like, I'm all for equal rights and all that good shit. I don't fucking give a shit what you do with your life. But why are we teaching high schoolers anything about sex? Like, when I was in high school, it was about STD prevention and like not getting girls pregnant and being safe. It wasn't about how to give people orgasms. Why do we have adults talking to children about how to do sexual acts? Like, I don't know the definition of grooming. The internet is down here at the fucking tips, or I'd look it up. But I don't know why these people, I'm going to say these people, and I don't mean just the gays. I mean everybody that supports them and thinks that this is some sort of progressive thing to do. Like, this is not helping you get gay people like more included. Like, they can be included in things and we don't have, like, I don't need you to teach my daughter how to give blowjobs, right? That's straight. All right, when my daughter's 15 in high school, I don't need a 40-year-old woman or 40-year-old man or 40-year-old Zer to teach my daughter how to give blowjobs or how to, how to do anal sex. Like, I don't understand that. So Project Veritas has this video of this gay dean of students. He's gay. and he's talking, they get caught in these undercover things. Apparently this was like some conference, and he thought he was talking to like another conference member, but he was talking to an undercover journalist with a camera. And he's talking about teaching kids how to use butt plugs and teaching kids how to use dildos, and they have the dildos and they have the butt plugs in class, and the kids are fucking playing with them and shit. And that is a little too far for me. That's crossing the line, right? Okay, do you want to teach about a man and a man loving each other? Still a little fucking weird, but it's not as weird as you teaching kids about sex. That's the kicker to me. I don't understand. I really don't understand the motive. It doesn't feel progressive to me. It feels demonic or something. It feels like Satanist shit. It feels evil. It feels like there's bad intentions behind it. It doesn't feel like good. It doesn't make me feel good. And I don't know. I don't know what you can do with that. Right? Because your kids are in school. Like, what am I going to do? Show up to PTA meetings? In my county, where I live in Passaic County, they don't have PTA meetings are still closed. They don't want parents showing up flipping the fuck out about masks and shit like they're doing everywhere else in this fucking country. But I digress. It is what it is. I got to go get ready to get this show started. Definitely grateful to hop on here and talk some shit with you guys. Whoever you are, let's listening to this little sip of beer for you. I don't have the ability to bring up my sponsors' pages here, but obviously all day, every day, it's New Jersey, New York pooltables.com, the A-team, the best in the billiards business. You need a pool table recovered. You need a pool table worked on. Call them. Call William Alimo. They've got over 40 years experience in this business. They're going to hook you up. They do all the famous people's pool tables. He's always bragging about it on his Instagram. So cool. They do great work. Move your pool tables, relocate them. They do all that good stuff. New York, New Jersey pooltables.com, the A-team. Call the A-team. They show up in a van and stuff, and they all wear like the gloves with no fingers on it. It's really cool. You can call them B.A. Baracus. 18 pool tables. Other sponsor, Empire Sewer and Drainage. Call Empire Sewer and Drainage. I wish they had their website off the top of my head, but they're a new sponsor. They're in New York. They will come clean your pipes out. All right, I'll come clean your pipes out, but maybe to your sister. But Empire Drainage and Sewage and Drainage, they are also the best in the business. And last but not least, we have Combat Sports Fitness, Combat Fitness Sports, located in Ridgefield Park. They will help you get that belly gone. All right, now I just saw this post that they did today about your mortality rate. All-cause mortality rate is increased 5 times. Your all-cause mortality rate is increased 5 times by doing intensive cardio work, and you can get that at Combat Sports Fitness in Ridgefield Park. Tell my boy Dane I sent you. After he beats you up, he will help you. Okay? He is good. I bring my daughter there. It is a great place to be. So enjoy it. Sign up now. That's it for me. Show dates coming up. I even wrote them down this time. I'm at TIFF's every weekend. But every Tuesday night, I'm at Nikki's Bar and Grill hosting an open mic. It's a fucking amazing open mic. Great time. Audience members come down. It's Taco Tuesdays. It's a good time. You sign up. All you need to do is buy a drink, and you could do comedy, or you can just listen to people work on bits. Some really funny comics stop by, some new comics. That's where I got my start at comedy, so I'm happy to be putting on the open mic there. Hopefully give somebody else the same chance that I got. Nikki enjoys it. She's very supportive for comedy. We've done the World Series of Comedy there. We've done a bunch of shows. It used to be a book show. Now it's an open mic, so anybody can come and perform. 6 minutes. It's good. Shows at sign-ups at 7:30. Show is at 8 p.m. Nikki's Bar and Grill, Little Ferry, New Jersey. And then we got next Friday, I'm at the Jersey City Comedy Jam at the 902 Brewing Company. That's going to be a dope show. Tony Loud production. Thank you for putting me on. And then I am back at the Dojo of Comedy December 29th for Vinny Scarpa production. He was on the podcast a couple episodes ago. He's producing his first show here at the Dojo with Franco Danger headlining, Nikki Petito hosting. Yours truly is going to be on the lineup. Vinny Scarpa's featuring. It's going to be a fun time. Come tiffscomedy.com for tickets. You get your tickets at tiffscomedy.com. I'm always here at the Dojo of Comedy, working the door. I'm the Dojo door guy. This is the VCast podcast, and I appreciate you so much if you've listened to this. If you listen to this, if you get to this point right here and you message me and say, hey, I listened, just message me, DM me either at Vic is Funny on Instagram or the Dojo Door Guy on Instagram. Just message me, I listened. Those 2 words. Message me, I listened, and I might send you some money. Probably not some money, but I don't know. I'll do something nice for you, especially if you're local in the area. I'll give you a couple free tickets. I'm just supporting the podcast. I appreciate you. Thank you so much. I love you. Mwah.
You're listening to my dad of the VCast.